Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, everybody. Today is the first day of the week. Yes, let's make this week an amazing week. Wow, I'm so excited, especially after yesterday evening when we had this Bitcoin launch pad, and Dr. Clemen Chiang was so amazing. And I told you that you are guaranteed to be inspired. Yes, every one of us was really inspired at last night event. So today is the first day of the week, and we are going to have an amazing week because we will start today as an amazing day. So when we have an amazing day, we are going to have an amazing week. When we have an amazing week, we are going to have an amazing month, and we are going to end the year with an amazing year. Now, so last evening, Dr. Clemen inspired us that Bitcoin going to hit 50,000. They're going to go to all-time high of 64 to 100, and then 20x to 1 million in 5 years, starting from 2021. Hence, it is going to be 2025. Now, for many of us, or many of you who were on last night event, you say that one day I will get into it, one day I'll get involved. Or you can choose to say day one. You can choose one day or day one. So today, Bitcoin finally hit 50,000 at precisely 10:45 a.m. Singapore time. Is Bitcoin getting ready for price run? Will it break 64,000, which is the all-time high, the last all-time high, and set a record, or will it go to 100K, 100,000 at the end of the year? This is a discussion we are having today. My name is Richard Tan from Success Resources. We are the world leading education provider. Every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are going to stream live on Facebook and YouTube. We are making video about cryptocurrency investing. So if this is a topic that you like to learn more about, make sure you subscribe to the channel, tap the thumbs up because this is the YouTube algorithm, and forward to your friends too. If you find that this is helpful, click on the notification bell so that whenever we have a new video, you are the first to know. I'm so delighted to bring my friend Dr. Clemen Chiang to the program. Now, he is an authority in financial investing and also a well-known teacher and coach in the art of wealth creation to many thousands of students all over the world. Now, Dr. Clemen Chiang is a friend and also my teacher. So welcome, Dr. Clemen Chiang.
Wow, thank you so much, Richard, for having me. What a great way to start Monday, because we are 50,000 on the Bitcoin, and we just finished 2 days of exciting weekend on the launch pad. And for those of you who miss out, you really miss out, okay? So thank you once again, Richard, for having me in your show.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Let's start off with the recent news. Yeah, just yesterday, investment bank Wells Fargo has registered with U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, SEC. Something good about the big company is that they have to be transparent. If they are public listed, they have to register with the SEC to declare their interest. So they register with SEC to offer its client exposure to cryptocurrency. Now, their competitor, another giant bank, JP Morgan. Come on, JP Morgan. For many months, you say that the Bitcoin price is going to dive down to 20,000 baht now. So, big banks like them, sometimes they say one thing, they do another thing. So they say that Bitcoin is going to drop to 20, drop to 10. JP Morgan, come on, big JP Morgan. But they did differently because the competitor, JP Morgan, has also filed for Bitcoin fund with the US regulator on just Thursday, just last week. Another giant, Neuberger Berman, the German 400 billion asset manager, it gave a green light. I mean, they've been talking about it, but just last week, they give green light to their fund manager to invest up to 5% of his asset in Bitcoin fund. Now, question for you, Dr. Clemen. Has institution getting the Bitcoin FOMO? Now, I got to explain to you and to everybody. the word FOMO is a new vocabulary for me. I didn't know what is FOMO until this year. Okay, now in the crypto Bitcoin community, there are many new words like FOMO, like FUD, fear, uncertainty, desperation, dollar cost, DCA, and many things. So, okay, now for the sake of new investor, Dr. Clemen, can you explain what is FOMO and what does institution FOMO? How does institution FOMO affect the price of Bitcoin?
Wow, thank you so much. What a great question to start off the Monday. And you brought out all the meme words, all the millennial words like YOLO, FOMO. And we've gone through the weekend understanding what is YOLO, you only live once, and what is FOMO, fear of missing out. What is FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Now, these are the new lingos among the millennials as well as Gen Z. Now, I'm also like kind of a boomer like you, Richard, relearning all these new words, but kind of make us very energized, feeling very young at heart as well. So what I like to do right now is kind of switch the screen over to take a look at the institutional FOMO that's kind of creeping into Wall Street. Now, we are talking about Wall Street because primarily every one of them, they are under the jurisdiction of Securities Exchange Commission. And that's the reason why they need to get the blessing from the Godfather. And that's none other than Chairman Gary Gensler. So we brought up a few big names, few big guns right here. We have Wells Fargo's, JP Morgan, Neuberger Berman, and so on. But what is happening in the landscape right now is this. Before Chairman Gary Gensler took office this year, in the past, all these big funds are already lining up to get approval on what we call Bitcoin ETF. Now, step one, Bitcoin ETF is so important because it represents the wealth of every single ordinary Americans. That means to say their pension funds and social securities, the moment the Bitcoin ETF is approved, all this money can be invested into a Bitcoin ETF. That is step one. So all these money managers like Wells Fargo's, JP Morgan, Neuberger Berman, they want to tap into the biggest wealth, or what we call the biggest floodgate to be opened. Step one. Step two, some changes along the way. This year, Chairman Gary Gensler came on board, and he's a very smart chairman. You see, he taught blockchain in MIT, and everybody know him as a very learned professor. And then he is brought on board right now as a government official. Now, he doesn't want to kind of corner himself in this new role, and he's very shrewd as a government official. Now, what did he do as step two? He's telling everyone that, hey, you know what? For me as the Securities Exchange Commission chairman, I don't really have the power to go and regulate something that's not within my jurisdiction. Because my role as SEC boss is to protect investor confidence and trust so that no ordinary man can come to harm when bad products are being introduced to them. And he's going back to Congress and say, you want me to regulate this? No problem. Give me more powers. Put all these guys, crypto exchanges, crypto products inside my jurisdiction so that I have the power to go and strangle them. It's literally like this. So at step two, he gave a kind of a olive branch to tell everybody, okay, I'm not going to look at Bitcoin ETF approval, but I'm willing to look at Bitcoin futures ETF for approval. So suddenly, out of nowhere, holy moly, we arrive at step three right now. Here we go. Everybody right now is gunning into Bitcoin futures. This is the new keyword right now. And because of this, in fact, originally, two of them applied for the Ethereum futures ETF. And within like 2 weeks or 1 week, straight away they pull out. Everybody just focus on Bitcoin. That means to say there's some backdoor negotiation going on between the applicants and the government officials. So I think we are fairly confident that an approval will be granted soon to Bitcoin futures ETF. And that's great news, Richard.
Wow. How does this ETF going to affect the price of Bitcoin?
Yes. And thank you for highlighting this once again, because of this FOMO, fear of missing out. Institutions right now are lining up. They are lining up one behind another because it's a first in, first out application process. The first to put it in will be the first to be reviewed. And that's why everybody right now on a queuing system. All right. So the fear of missing out is clearly taking place. But more importantly, while they are waiting for the approval to be granted by the boss, they are already setting up the infrastructure. And when I mean setting up infrastructure means they're looking at custodian, hot wallet, cold wallets, and making sure all their customers are well briefed. And this is the moment in time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you what has happened over the weekend. Here we go. For those of you who miss out over the 2 days of the Launchpad class, we started the training on 21st of August. And we ended the training on 22nd of August, right within my red box here. And clearly, today, ladies and gentlemen, we are at $50,000 per Bitcoin. And that is the power of our Launchpad series. We presented to all of you there's fear of missing out. And not only that, right now is all out queue on the streets, all right? And you can see we're broken above the 50,000 barrier. And that is a sign of the institutional participation. They kind of gotten rid of all the scary cats out there, and they are lining up for the applications. And the moment the first application will be approved, boom, the next target will be the previous high of $64,000.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Clemen. Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Now, there's a company called Plan B. They invented the flow to stock model that predict Bitcoin price. So far from market, this flow to stock model has been very, 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 very accurate historically in predicting Bitcoin price. And this Plan B has predicted using the F2S flow to stock model that the worst case scenario for Bitcoin this year will be 135,000 by end of December 2021, and the best case scenario will be 450,000 by end of December of 2021. Now, I am interested to know exactly what is flow to stock model, and I'm sure the audience here are also interested to know. Can you share with us in very simple language what actually is flow to stock model?
Wow, that's a great question, Richard. It's called a stock to flow analysis. I'm going to have 3 things to kind of share with our audience here today. Step 1, we need to establish why Plan B is able to see a minimum of $135,000 per Bitcoin by December this year. All right. So they are stating very clearly right up here, the worst case prediction for Bitcoin using the stock to flow analysis could see Bitcoin hitting 135,000 by December 2021, according to Plan B. So the keyword to think about, stock to flow is not, we are not thinking about the stock market. The stock that we are talking about is a commodity. So I'm going to give you all a 3-step flow to understand what exactly is stock to flow model. Step 1, right over here, we are thinking about the stocks, listing it as a commodities like gold, silver, platinum. And remember, we taught you guys over the weekend class, in Bitcoin, there's only two alphabets. And the concept is PS, I love you, right? So the P we taught you is payment. And we are looking at the ecosystem. More and more players will be accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. The second one, S, is a store of value, which is exactly what the stock to flow model is talking about, the store value of commodities, because they retain value over long time frames due to their scarcity. And we taught you about this concept about scarcity over a weekend class as well. So right now, what has happened after the third Bitcoin halving that took place in May 2020, we have over 18 million Bitcoins that's already mined and circulating in the marketplace. That means to say there's another about less than 3 million more Bitcoins to be mined. This is the one that we are focusing on, the stock to flow model. So as a result, they are saying that, hey, if this amount is going to be mined, then jolly well, we're going to take a look at step 3, and that is right over here. The concept of store value indicates that they are mostly not consumed in industrial application. Instead, the majority is stored as a monetary hedge, thereby driving up the stock to flow ratio. So I'm going to kind of switch my screen right now to another very, very interesting page and kind of give you the perspective. Here we go. This is the Bitcoin price prediction, and we are taking from the first Bitcoin halving right to the second and to the third. So let me guide all of you to understand this chart, all right? So right here, the first Bitcoin halving represented in the purple line, and it goes like this. From day one, we always check against from day one of the halving, and then it kind of move all the way up here. Now, what we can remember from the first halving is that Bitcoin shot up 92 times, 9,200% within 1 year. Then we go to the second Bitcoin halving right here, the blue line. This was in 2016. And what we can learn from the second Bitcoin halving, the price of Bitcoin shot up 29 times. So the way we go about remembering this is 9229. Now, what is interesting is the third halving that only took place last year, May, and this is the dotted line, all right? This is the dotted line, follow closely with me. And in this dotted line, we are already more than 1 year. You count back last year, May, right now, theoretically, we are at a 52-week period, right? Because we are looking right here at 52-week. And today, we are already at 50,000. So we say that it should travel anywhere between the purple line and the blue line. And that is exactly what we're talking about here. We are back on track right now when we are at $50,000, all right? And then we're going to push it all the way to $100,000 by the end of this year. So in summary, the stock to flow basically give us a very good reference point, putting Bitcoin in the likes of scarce commodities like gold, silver, or platinum, and thereby playing out. You see, for silver, gold, and platinum, we are not looking at them as a payment. We don't use gold to buy something out there, right? We are not looking at them as a store of value. But Bitcoin inherently has two advantages. First, as a form of payment, which right now already been taking place in the ecosystem. And the second one, as a store of value, as a hedge. And that's the reason why the stock to flow analysis is one of the leading indicators to predicting the price of Bitcoin. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Thank you, Dr. Clemen. I think the audience really appreciate that you explain this in a very, very simplified manner. Thank you so much. Now, like yesterday, we have got over the weekend, we had 2 days of lessons, and everyone was really excited. Especially like yesterday, you mentioned, you expound the possibility of Bitcoin hitting 20x to a million, and all this amazing number. Some viewers were so excited they couldn't sleep. Right in the middle of the night, a participant texts me, somebody that has been attending Success Resources program and has my contact. He texts me, he says, Richard, can you ask Dr. Clemen to explain again? Because I'm so excited, so inspired that I did not manage to absorb everything. Now, so can you please explain again and expound again how Bitcoin can hit $1 million? Thank you, Dr. Clemen.
Wow, 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 wow. This student must re-attend the class again. So first of all, we really take the time to go through 2 days. And this is the difference between how we are teaching versus what you guys are reading out there. 3 important information. I hope the student is tuning in right now. Number 1 is that Richard and myself, we are not like going out there and telling you a 4D number. This price buy now, that price buy now. There is no substance in that prediction, because what we done over the 2 days is built within you a solid foundation. And the foundation must be built on logic, whereby we connect the dots and we trace through time. That is step 1. Now, step 2, we also gone through a very, very important journey. And I want to kind of bring out right here, this is exactly what we covered over the 2 days, Richard and myself. And let me bring out the notes right here. All right, this is really, really interesting. And here we go. Let's check this out. All right. Oops. Hang on a minute. Let me just get this ready. And here we go. Okay, this is the program that we taught over the 2 days, Crypto Launchpad with Richard Tan and myself. All right. And I kind of scroll down right here. We started off the day 1 of the class. We are looking at all the important candles that will move Bitcoin pricing. And I'm not going to dive deep into the details here, because it is the responsibility of each of you as a student to really understand these are the key indicators. All right. But what is really important is we really gone down the journey and kind of look at Bitcoin prediction, starting from 100,000, move up to 300,000, move up to 500,000, move up to $1 million, still not enough, move up to $2 million, move up to 100 trillion market cap. And this is not like pulling out from the air and we say, oh, that it should be done. It is on a logical flow whereby everybody making a prediction, they stand firm by putting money on the table first. So we go through this journey and we say that, okay, if you think $100,000 is far-fetched, I show you who is making a prediction at 300,000. If you think 300,000 is kind of unbelievable, I'm showing you who's predicting at 500,000. If you say 500,000, no, this is mind-boggling. No, I'm going to show you who is predicting at $1 million. And we have a set time frame, the time frame within the next 5 years. And why the next 5 years? This is the most important point, because Bitcoin halving takes place every 4 years. 2020 was last year. The next 4th halving will be 2024. And we predict by 2025, that is where you command $100 trillion market cap. And of which at the point in time, you're going to experience 100x of what you're seeing today, 50,000 multiplied by 2 more zeros behind. And that's why we are so excited, because every time we perform an analysis, Richard, the prediction comes true. And those of you who started watching videos with us, back then the price was about 28,000. And then as you progressively watch the videos with us, it moved up to 35,000, moved to 40,000, moved to 45,000. Today we are 50,000. How we have grown together as a community. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can only urge you, be very attentive, come back to our class and make sure you join our movement. And there's a lot of things that you really have to take time to internalize, to think it through. So for those students who miss out the Launchpad series, I can only urge you, join in our movement, and maybe Richard, our leader, will decide how best to retrain you guys again.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Now, before I ask Dr. Clemen one last question about the direction of the Bitcoin after 50,000, I want to share with every one of you that I myself is very, very passionate about Bitcoin. In fact, we are very passionate about Bitcoin. After knowing what Bitcoin is all about, and Bitcoin is an instrument that you can use to create wealth for yourself and for a generation to come. It is not just an economic imperative, it's also a moral imperative. And that's the reason why we are organizing Global Bitcoin Festival this October. It is a movement, a gathering of experts and gathering of passionate Bitcoin holder to promote education adoption of Bitcoin. I've been considering for a while how to organize, what is the direction of the Global Bitcoin Festival. And I decided that, hey, this Global Bitcoin Festival is a service to the people of the world, because everybody deserves a chance, right, to create wealth in the most effective manner. So Global Bitcoin Festival in October is going to be a gift to the world. That means to say that we don't charge anybody to come. But we urge you to help us to promote this Global Bitcoin Festival. Every 2 months, Dr. Clemen and myself will be running what we call the Bitcoin Launchpad, like what we did yesterday. So if you can help to promote Global Bitcoin Festival to your friends or the people that you love, and to and everybody else, so that they all can come to Global Bitcoin Festival. Now we are targeting, originally I'm targeting like 10,000 people. Then I'm thinking, why only serve 10,000 people? Why not 20? Why not 50? Why not 100? Why not 1 million? So we want to open up to everybody to come, but I cannot do it myself. We cannot do it ourselves. You know your friends, you know your neighbor, you know your team, you know the people that you love. So we would like you to invite all your friends to come to Global Bitcoin Festival. We are going to invite, global expert to come. So there is a link in our chat group that you can invite your friends to come as your guest. If you can invite at least 2% to really show up their name and etc., that they sign up for the program, we will give you, that means we will invite you to our Bitcoin Launchpad, a 2-day program where Dr. Clemen and myself will share in depth on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin Festival, Global Bitcoin Festival is for the world. Everybody should come and can come. But if you do your part to invite your friends to come, we'd like to give you a 2-day event called the Bitcoin Launchpad. Okay, now let's go to the last question for Dr. Clemen. Last question for Dr. Clemen. Dr. Clemen, Bitcoin has hit 50,000 and perhaps on the way to all-time high, right, or 64 and beyond. Now, some people may take the following action. In fact, I have a question from Isabella on here. Isabella here to say that when Bitcoin reach 50,000, do we expect a pullback to 38 to 46,000 level? So a few action were some people will take profit when they hit the all-time high of 50,000, expect it to go down. Some will wait until the end of the year for 100,000. For some people like Michael Saylor, he says that I will hold on Bitcoin for all eternity. And the twins, right? The Gemini founder twins say, hey, I will wait until it's 500,000. So, Dr. Clemen, the question for you is, what is your thought of the above auction? What will you do? And what is your thought on the above auction?
Wow. That's the great question. And I believe this question has a deep impact on each and every one of you. I only got one word to bless all of you with, is this. You need to be part of a community. And that's the reason why myself, I hang out with all the Bitcoin whales. I mean, there are like few thousand Bitcoins in their wallets, and I've seen it with my own eyes. And some of these people are like below 30 years old. Some of these people are like very stealth and very plugged into the Bitcoin community. We call them the whales of the market. And that's the reason why, just like Richard early on shared, that a student just reached out to Richard and say, hey, I missed this part, what Dr. Clemen is talking about. The reason why you missed this part is because you are not part of a community and you're not participating in the conversation. So let me give all of you an example like this. I posted this the moment Bitcoin touched 50,000 today, the very second. And when I posted this out, I mean, over here, when I posted it out, it's not easy for you to see and capture exactly at 50,000. So Unfortunately, I let me show you again this very post. This is very important to all of you. Let me come back to here again. All right. So how do you capture when the data is released, and then you must exactly screen capture 50,000? This is an art among our community that you must capture exactly the price. No bullshit. Not typing it up or not saying for fun. You capture exactly as the price as it shows up, right? So the moment it first time touches 50,000 this morning, straight away what happened? We start the conversation right here. Look at all this crazy conversation that's coming in. And every one of them are like madness, to the moon, spiking to the moon, spike to the moon. That's great, ready. And it's amazing. Already in the price range. Bought some more. Ready, steady, boom. Next target 60,000 all the way. And then if you are not part of this community, you cannot enjoy this month. This is like, we even have this spot on. This is exactly what we have been talking about all this. Wow. So to kind of answer Richard's question is that, hey, there's never a right price unless you are in the right community. Ask yourself today, are you part of the Global Bitcoin Festival? And if you are not part of our community, forever you'll be asking the question yourself and talking to yourself. And you can never pull yourself out of the darkness pit, the bottomless pit. And how you can leverage on and stand on the shoulders of giants. I mean, this is a community of giants. Let me tell you, in our community, literally when we started the class, I told them on day one on Saturday, I believe among our class, some of you are going to push the price to 50,000. And it came true today. Because once they completed 2 days of launchpad, they understand what is the logic, the foundation, why Bitcoin cannot be replaced, cannot be demised. And they go all the way out. Remember, Richard, we started off the class on day 2. We asked, how many of you are willing to put in like between $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 to buy into Bitcoin? Majority of them put in $1,000. But at the end of the class, everybody show hand. 1 million, 100,000, 10 million. And all the tiger and the dragon all start to show hand already. So I want to encourage you. There's never a right price, but there is always a right community. And please join us in the Global Bitcoin Festival.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Thank you, Dr. Clemen Chiang. Now, Global Bitcoin Festival is a movement of community to encourage each other to know more about Bitcoin and adoption of Bitcoin and promotion of Bitcoin. So if you help us, and if you'd like to help us to promote or to tell more people, and as long as you refer 2 persons, we like to reward you by inviting you to the Bitcoin Launchpad program. So thank you very much. The link is there below for you to sign up and for you to encourage your other friends to come. So this is Richard Tan. Wish you wealth, health, happiness in your life. Until we meet again this coming Wednesday. Thank you and have a blessed day and a blessed week. Thank you so much.